especially the last fight too. Whew.
Well, let's go into Tomb of the Spider Queen, G-Clef. Let's head into this one. That's going to be the map pick of Mighty. And let's see what drafts come out of this one, because I think this is going to look a little bit different. I don't think they will allow the Greymane through. And I think that Mighty might even pick up ETC early on in this draft this time. Joker, of course, won't be playing it, sadly. As hyped as I would have been to see him on ETC again.
ETC may just be banned.
Yeah, could be.
From the very beginning.
So, let's go ahead and pop into this one. Popping right in.
To Tomb of the Spider Queen. Uther banned. Okay. This is a change. They want to have a throwaway ban. Maybe a support choke coming out later on.
Again. Alright, so this should be an ETC pick. Oh,
no,
we're going to go to the Ariel.
Then I have a feeling that they may want to have their own Lunara against Mighty.
Interesting. The Uther pick surprises me over the Ariel. Sorry, the Uther ban surprised me over the Ariel. I suppose when I saw that, I should have, instead of being confused, just know that that's exactly what they wanted to take. They're immediately going to take Lunara anyways with the Tassadar. So this time we will get to see Lunara. This is already scary for me for L5, given that the Lunara has been a staple of Mighty's compositions, and they allowed it through.
Did the other teams find the answer against Mighty's Lunara? Miracle tried it, but Stitch's hooks were pretty awesome, but without pair-ups, didn't really work too well. And with Ariel, there are still lots of DPSs available. Of course, Vala, the first one, is banned, so it cannot be used. Maybe they were considering using something like Tracer for L5. But Lunara on the other side, if you're poked, basic attack 3 times, Tracer is almost... gets poisoned and is close to dead. So I think... Oh, they pick up Lucio Greymane once more.
Yeah, I was thinking Greymane was probably going to be the pick again, like we were talking about before.
I was expecting an ETC in the middle somewhere there.
Yeah, I would expect the ETC over the Lucio here, but not a shocker that we see the Lucio instead. But again, I think Greymane is a problem for Mighty that they are going to have to deal with. And it's going to be, again, the hyper carries, right? Like, Lunara is so good, Mighty's so good at using Lunara, that's their staple DPS, and then L5 is so good at the Greymane. They're using Greymane again. They protected Greymane so well last game. So there's kind of both teams have this daunting task of defeating the DPSs that are going to be healed. I think ETC is certainly going to make it a lot easier, as we were talking about. It's going to allow them to dominate the early game. That's why I expected ETC to be picked higher, as you did, going into this map.
Or even second band. Instead, L5 picked Diablo. Maybe they were concerning about some CC that could happen and isolate their DPS, which is Greymane for now. Do they want to go in once more with solo Greymane damage with double support? I mean, against on ETC, I think you need a lot more CC now. Even to trap and to get some picks onto the support, or even on Lunara, I think CC will definitely help when Greymane wants to do all that damage.
I think picking Murden here is the safest bet. In terms of, like, DPS, yeah. Or, sorry, in terms of tanking. And then the Soul Laner, I'm just going to say Malthael was quite strong. Sonya is quite strong as well. Both of them have strengths and weaknesses. Malthael is much better at delaying the turn-ins, but Sonya can do decent at that, as long as she spins in the right way and has the right support while doing so. So who's going to be the Soul Laner for Mighty? Could just be the Leoric. Leoric very strong against the Lucio Ariel. There's ways to force out the Aegis early with that in Tomb. And his wave clear is very valuable. And viable, of course. So I think that Leoric is a good final lock-in here. Other options are still that Malthael we talked about. And Dahaka, I suppose, could be used in this composition.
I don't think it's a bad one at all against Greymane if you get those drags from on Sonya onto even Greymane, I think can be a very good one.
They'll just take Leoric though. Good old Leo.
Oh, Leo may just be in tune once more. Seems like Korea is a little bit slower onto picking up on the reworked heroes, as different continents are thinking about different things about each hero, how they think. Maybe Korea will think just pick up within the next weekend or just tomorrow when L5 versus Black happens.
That's right. So we're going to go into game number 2, guys. Tomb of the Spider Queen, for my friends who cannot read Korean. And we are going into this one with a pretty cool draft. Pretty even, again, just like game number 1. Will L5 be able to turn this around? Let's find out right now. In blue, L5, Hooligan on Bird and SC on Greymane, Jama on Sonya, SD on Ariel, and Swoy on Lucio.
And in red, Mighty, Joker on Lunara, BDG on Leoric, Good on ETC, Nasang on Rehgar, and Magi on Tastar.
Okay. Wolfheart into this SC build again, so probably going to be the same with the Quicksilver bullets. Very much a powerful build as he wears the ballistics mount. Still a lot of pleb horses on the side of Mighty. Not sure what's going on with that one. They're not plebs.
Now it's the opposite. Mighty, they have Soul DPS Hyper Carry, and L5 they have Sonya along with the Greymane.
Yep. Sorry guys, I get a little bit sick today. That's why I've got the sniffles.
Joker would need to position himself perfectly, gladly for himself. There's not much of CC on the other side, and lots of tanking and defensive tools for Mighty. So it's not going to be the hardest time for him to survive and position right. Yeah. There's nothing like Stitches or something crazy like Medivh. The hard CC's on the other side, so Joker can just keep poking and harass, just like he does.
Yeah. Leoric getting a lot of extra soak top, meanwhile, by the way, which gives the extra experience lead here to Mighty, as Sonya is actually solo laning bot, so it's kind of like a lane swap that Rehgar actually can do decent in. Swoy in trouble here, will get away. Oh, look at that punish play. Detainment Strike was so good. That was such a good punish by L5. Overextension there by ETC. Will get punished, and that's going to be first blood for L5. But Leoric is still getting that extra soak talk, but I'd like to see someone go and deal with that.
Seems like they will make the rotation to actually gank into clear lane too.
God, Nasang is so good. Just turning this into a win for him. He's going to swap now Magi down to this position. Better wave clear, as he needs to be up for healing. And this is just a pretty passive early game with a little bit of lane swapping going on. I think this favors... Actually, I don't know who this really favors yet. Like, I think it's too early to say, but for the earliest part of it, it was favoring Mighty, but after that failed pick, they kind of lost control of the lanes a little bit, so it's kind of going L5's way here for a moment.
Good on ETC. So far, so not good, I would say. Extending a little bit too far, getting poked so much, actually. He also gave the kill to L5 because he was overextending a little bit. He was alone onto the other side. Even like this, even if he has the armor with the trait, he has to be careful as he is the only tank, especially when Leoric is low health and has to go back like that.
Yeah. It's going to be important, and Bird and Stonebolts are going to be important as well. Like, we talked about that in the draft, and shutting down the mosh pit will either have to be done by that or a Sonya Spear, basically. Not going to Lucio boot that one out. Probably. Pretty unlikely that's going to occur, I have to say. So, this is a very passive early game, but L5 now has enough for a turn-in. They will go ahead and toss us in right now. And it looks like no one is going to even attempt to deny this, meanwhile. So they've got half those gems in right now for free. Sonya is carrying the majority of them. So it's going to be a while before she can turn those in, but a nice grab here for L5.
Let's wait for the moment that L5 makes a big move. So far they've been really focusing on the top middle since Sonya was winning the lane and not many ganks are coming into the bottom lane. So Jungha was having a good time down there, getting all the gem. Here comes the rotation, good.
That was actually really risky what Soy was trying to do there, but doesn't end up getting punished for it.
You can also wall ride, and the thing is, also something else that the reason why Lucio came on top for Korea is after not using Lucio for a while, they thought he was weak, not really in the meta, but after that small buff on his HP, they thought it was just enough for Lucio. Before he would have died, but with the wall ride, with some buff onto the HP, now he can escape.
Yeah, and I mean, Soy's playing hyper aggressive on this. If he had gotten power slid because L5 wasn't in position to allow him to do this, it would have looked like a fool, but because the protection was always there, he got away with it, and this time he actually helps zone out for the final turn in. So Soy actually being very valuable on this Lucio in this game because he's able to help zone these characters so that when the turn in is channeled, they get it in very quickly and very safely, I guess, with no interruptions. So now L5 has the first turn in. This could be level 10s going to them as well, looking for this pick.
Oh, nice CCs, but barely escaped there.
He wasn't sure if Cocktail was on cooldown, that's why he shielded and tapped well there. He will be able to stay here now at least. But not very useful at the moment. This Joker's getting bullied super hard right now behind the fort. Meanwhile, Sonya is crushing bottom, so 2 very successful web weaver pushes here. Looks like it's going to be about half a fort and a wall. In fact, maybe even more than that in the bot lane. Actually, the fort is taking some damage.
Yeah, Leoric's having a tough time as Jung.
Uh-oh,
here comes the rotation. He walks away, and Jungha is getting some heals from Sway. Maybe they'll just go out right after. Joker's doing tons of damage. There's a good power slide.
BDG being very aggressive here. He's baiting super hard. That was actually really well done. SC looks like he will survive regardless, though. Not the same can be said of ETC. Will Sway be able to self-heal out here? Oh, just barely with his boombox on the ground and the Oriole heal.
Yeah, that's
everyone gets out safe.
Nara does tons of damage, but the poison does not actually kill if you have the opposite, the sustained healing coming out from Lucy all the time. And also Ariel AoE healing is really damaging.
Oh, look at this Ancient Spear damage coming in. This is not a good place for Mighty to be fighting. And they're going to lose so many gems from this. Look, 15 gems will be lost now. Not to mention the fact that this will give 10 to L5. 15 gems on the floor. Oh, maybe even more. Okay, nope. Sorry, my bad. Thought BDG was already dead. Does get out, but still. I mean, this is disastrous now. They will get the double turn in. No way to stop them with 2 members just coming back in the Hall of Storms and level 10s available. Silver Bullet, or sorry, not Silver Bullet, which he did get. Or quick Silver Bullets, I should say. The Cursed Bullet is being held here, but he is going to go for the throat. I think you kind of have to go for the throat against Lunara comp. You have to do that burst to get the kill.
Even though there's a ton of tank on the other side. And Sonya, you can actually get the kill, but I think Greymane alone can also get some kills and get burst damage when needed against Lunara. We saw the damage happening and the healing coming out. I think that's just going to continue over and over. And that's something Mighty has to think about and try to actually overcome. They do have the damage. Maybe Archon would just be enough to actually get the kills after Lunara's all that poison. We'll see a little more as still they are far away from 10.
Yeah, that's a problem. 10 not being up here before this keep wall is already being sieged is such a frustration for Mighty right now. They know they're going to get 10 soon, so Good is trying to position himself for a potential mosh, but gets punished for it again. Goes very low. They're going to have it in just a second. They still don't have it yet, though. The top fort is going to go down, so they find themselves fortless, and the bottom push is going to go to the keep eventually. It's still well protected down there by the minion wave that's with it. Now they have 10, so now they can try to make a play. Still risky, 2 levels of scaling behind, and they didn't bait any heroics out of L5. They still have all of them with them.
Ooh, March of the Black King is here, and BDG will be getting that sustain with his heroic available. He does have 25 on his hands.
Okay, we'll see if this ends up being the right choice. They didn't take it with Force Wall, so there's nothing to pair with it per se, but the Mosh Pit.
Yeah, perfect Mosh Pit will do it.
Cleanse into the Mosh! Oh, interrupted though! That's what he wanted there. Did not get it. He's caught here.
It's a 4v4.
Ancestral does go off, but the Lunara damage is too much for them right now. They're just going to retreat.
It seems like Sonya's about to die top from March of from the March. Look at that.
Got smacked, man. That's not the wet noodle Leoric anymore. He's doing some real damage up there.
Here comes a new patch. That's what Leoric said. Well, 1v1 against Sonya, and if you can do that much damage, I think it's a pretty good buff that we were seeing here.
Yeah. I think ideally you don't want to 1v1 a Sonya too often, but when you do, it definitely ends up being a good there. And uh-oh, caught.
Drop 31, that's a problem.
Now it looks like the rest of his teammates are going to be here to save him. But that was actually a really well executed denial on the turn in by L5. So yeah, as you guys could see, March of the Black King is pretty good. Does a lot of damage. If you don't know what it does, he marches forward and swings his, whatever that thing is, a mace, I guess. He swings it, and every time it hits, he heals for the damage dealt, like, what, 10% or so, 12%,
yeah, 5%,
something like that?
Yeah, so basically he has a very good sustaining tool on himself, especially during the team fight. The damage was very low before, but it's buffed significantly, so it actually does a lot of damage to all the heroes.
It's also factually the most satisfying ult to actually get value from. Like, that's actually not in my opinion, it's a fact. It says so on the tooltip. Because when you get that into a mosh, and you're low, you're like 10% health Leoric, and you get a 5-man mosh, or even like a 3-man, you just walk right into that with March of the Black King. Most satisfying heroic in the game. You will, it's just the best one. No questions.
No questions, Wolf, for sure. That's what we were for Mighty. It will get them 13, and maybe they are also looking for a good team fight here. As again, 1v1 Sonya versus Leoric on top, and Leoric down to health.
Not very low. Might want to march his Black King back up to full health here, but not going to happen. Not for the time being. This one-river push doesn't get much done, but they had to do it. They had to turn them in. They're carrying too many. And it does relieve a lot of the pressure. Sonya's coming in for a flank. This could be an overextension for Mighty. They need to be careful about this. Okay, she does actually decide to clear the wave. Not going to actually hard engage this. Oh man, SC's so good on the Grey main. Just love how he just tries to gain little chips of damage. Always gaining value. Always making sure he's getting the maximum amount of DPS done at any given moment. It's like Swoy is maybe thinking about setting up here. He is crazy. Like, where is he going? He's nuts, man. He just really wants to deny this turn-in.
That's Lucio, man. On this map, there's so many walls, especially around where you turn in. There's Sonya coming in, flanking.
Joker
didn't do too much damage onto Tastar, actually.
Joker is in the worst possible place ever, actually, but now is actually still going to be able to do damage. Look at this. He's on the wrong side of the team fight, but it doesn't matter. No one can kill him. Sound barrier is well timed, but now they start to punish him. He should not have been on that side of the fight. Magi will eat this Ancestral. Joe hits the Aegis. That's going to do so much extra damage here. Good does not have Mosh. It was interrupted already. And this is actually going to be the boop that might get them 2 more kills.
When I saw Joker on the left alone and 0-man Mosh, 0-man March of the Black King, I knew the team fight was over. Not just me. I'm pretty sure all the viewers knew at the same time.
Well, when I was looking at Joker, I was like, well, his positioning is terrible, but I guess when no one looks at him, I guess it's okay. And then for like the first maybe 5 seconds of that moment, I was like, I guess he's just going to be okay. And then they were like, wait, why is Lunar on our side? And then they killed him, and then it was bad.
It was sad.
Sad indeed.
If you invite all the people to your party and no one comes,
it's just as sad as that, man. Just as sad as Bambi, dude. That was a Bambi opening scene moment for sure.
Of course, our parties are great. Everyone comes.
Everyone comes.
But that mosh pit did not have anyone in there other than Good himself dancing in there. Hooligan flanking in from the side, just getting one more stack as they will be getting another set of Wet Weavers here.
Joker invited himself to that party. He was not invited. And he got away with it for a little while, and then he was definitely kicked out of the party, okay? So
he went to the wrong party.
He went to the wrong party. That is certainly. And he made a big fuss. He was making a big mess. All right, well, now this Web Weaver is the obvious follow-up to what just occurred, that slaughter of the team fight. And they have Siege Giants with this one. The mid wall is already dead. The Orcus is trying to deal with the top one and rotate down, but I think this is going to be a keep, like 100%.
Scaling will be a big thing, but they do have all the tools in 6 seconds. If they had landed on Good Never mind. If he dives in, he will be deleted instantly. Mosh does not matter, so he cannot go in. No way they can save the keep now.
I mean, Alpha Killer is helping SC do so much here, too. Does it end up getting slowed by this keep, unfortunately, but they got the keep. That's all they needed, realistically, with this push, so if they had gotten more, maybe they win the game, but they're still very happy with the results.
With the Poison Spear talent, every single spear, if it lands on a target, does so much burst damage coming out from Sonya. It lands on Good, and ETC has to go back. It lands on Lunara, then Lunara has to go back. And they just have to keep things together until they hit 16, and maybe a little more until they actually catch up on talent at least.
Yeah. So, 95 gems carried. And that is it's quite a monumental number, right? Like, the UI like barely has space to put 100 in there. That's not the Kaldor gems where like Kaldor says if you carry 100 gems you get a special mount. Like they're getting close, okay?
Really?
Yeah, Kaldor said that once to a guy in solo queue and the guy believed him. Kaldor's toxic, confirmed. But yeah, we're getting up there, and I mean, if they lose one team fight, I think the game ends regardless. But the fact that you're carrying in this many gems is that thought of, wow, how many gems could we lose? We have 2 turn-ins worth of gems carried right now. Like, that's a whole gem turn-in right now on BDG
59.
that he may lose.
He will not die and can also sustain himself. I think he's not backing out for a purpose as they hit 16, 2 levels apart.
If they lose the fight, they lose the game either way because they lose all the gems, but also the keep is open.
Yes.
So, I mean, they need to get a turn in here desperately to relieve that bot pressure from the missing keep. SC is going to go in here. They do have sound barrier. He needs it.
All the damage is gone. Good. Can actually have a mosh pit, but without Lunara, there's no damage coming out. The Archon will be the only tool coming out from Magi. The damage is not enough, as you can see. SC still survives in the middle of this.
Oh, SC's understanding of his supports, like his trusting of his supports and his understanding of their healing output is so beautiful to watch. Like many other DPS players would run away there, but SC runs in. There's the kill on the BDG. All those gems are on the other side of the gate. Magi is going to recover them up to 78, but he might die and lose them right afterwards. Look at that stun coming through. Ancestral's used, but already ETC blown up. And Nasong's doing what he can to try to keep him alive, but that is a treasure chest of gems all about to despawn. And the game will end with this one. Not even going to work on that mid-keep. Going to go directly to the core. The Joker has respawned. He's trying to do what he can, but alone, it will not be enough.
Yeah, it will not be enough, and of course, first level 5. And they're having fun right now. Even one more kill for the heavy impact, and it seems like more kills are coming out before the core goes down. Even the music pops up a little early, and the core goes down, and we're back to 1-1. We have a series, guys.
You know, honestly, it feels like they're up 2-0. I mean,
almost,
they were so behind on Sky Temple, and they won every last team fight. Just lost the boss and lost the game as a result, but man, this team is on fire right now. They had a shaky start, absolutely on Sky Temple, like losing that early keep, losing the lane swaps, that was really frustrating for them. But in that last game, there was domination from start to finish, and SC's Greymane needs to be respected. I think that Mighty should not be trying to draft towards Lunara right now. If they are going to, they need to do it safer. They need to remove the Greymane or some of these tools. The Lucio specifically has been so difficult for them to deal with.
And not just the Rehgar. Of course, Rehgar is a top-tier support right now in the meta, but especially for Korea, Lucio seems to be working so well against the Korean teams each other. They have been even banning sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it deserves a ban right now, especially on Spider Queens, where you can harass and cancel all the turn-ins just like that.
Well, guys, we are going to go to a quick commercial break before we go into that third game. It's a 1-1 series. We've got a good series coming at you guys, and it's going to come right back in a few minutes. See you then.